Hello everyone, I'm Sheetal Kuite from the Computer Science Department of KTHM College, Nasik. Today I'm going to discuss class diagram uses and its example. So let us start with the first one, that is the uses of class diagram. So basically we use class diagrams to model the static design view of a system. This view primarily supports the functional requirements of a system, the services the system should provide to its end users. When we model the static design view of the system, we typically use class diagrams in one of the three ways. So the first one, that is to model the vocabulary of a system. This involves making a decision about which abstractions are part of the system under consideration and which fall outside its boundaries. We use class diagrams to specify these abstractions and their responsibilities. To model simple collaborations, that is, a collaboration is a society of classes, interfaces, and other elements that work together to provide some cooperative behaviors that's bigger than the sum of all the elements. For example, when we are modeling the semantics of a transaction in a distributed system, we can't just stare at the single class to understand what's going on. Rather, these semantics are carried out by a set of classes that work together. We use class diagrams to these semantics are carried out by set of classes that work together. We use class diagrams to visualize and specify this set of classes and their relationships. And the third use, that is to model a logical database schema. Think of a schema as the blueprint for the conceptual design of a database. In many domains, we shall want to store persistent information in a relational database or in an object-oriented database. We can model schemas for this database using class diagrams. So all these are the different uses of class diagrams. Let us move to the example. So basically the first example of the class diagram, that is the school information system. All of you know, every school has a number of departments. Many students enroll and become a member of a school. To every department, many instructors are associated with it, out of which one may become a chairperson. It is not compulsory that every department must have a chairperson. Hence, we are going to take first class, that is the school, which includes the attributes like a name, which is the protected one. It's the visibility of this attribute. Whenever you want to specify the visibility as a protected, you should just write down the hash before that attribute. If you want to show it as a private, then you have to put minus sign before the attribute, and when the attribute is public, then you should specify plus before the attribute name, and after the attribute name you just write down the data type of that attribute. So here the name has the name, it's the attribute. Then the second one, that is the address, it's having the string data type. Name, it's also having the same string data type. Then the phone number, it's having the number data type. And we have different methods or operations we want to perform for this class, like add new student. Then if you want to delete previous students details, then delete student. Then if you want to get all students details, so you just simply call the get all student method. So all these are the different methods or the operations performed by this class. Then the next one, the second class, that is the department. So we can say one school has one or many departments. That's why we are going to specify over here one dot dot star. So similarly here we have different attributes for the department, like department name, then department ID, and also you can specify the location or the address for the department, etc. And then department must have details of the instructor. So department can take the information of new instructor. So add instructor, then if you want to delete the or the first instructor's details, then you just call the del instructor. Then if you want to get the instructors all instructors details, then simply call the get all instructors operation. So both these are the different classes. So we can say one school has many departments. So here this is the composition. Then the next one, that is we can say many instructors teaches to many courses. Every student may attend any number of courses, and every course may have any number of students. So there are two associations between department and the instructors. One of these associations specifies that every instructor is assigned to one or more departments, and that each department has one or more instructors. That's why here is specified that assigned to a relationship between the department and the instructor. This is the model as an aggregation between aggregation, because organizationally departments are at the higher level in the school structure than our instructors. The other association specifies that for every department there is exactly one instructor who is the department chairperson. The way this model is specified, an instructor can be the chair of number of more than one department, and some instructors are not chairs of any department. So all classes are marked as a persistent, indicating that their instances are we can say intended to live in a database or some other from the persistent store. All attributes are of primitive types. Two of these classes, school and the department, expose several operations for manipulating their parts. These operations are included because they are important to maintain data integrity. There are many other operations that you might consider for this and other classes, such as querying the prerequisites of a course before assigning a student. So all these are the different classes which we can include in the school information system. And yes, obviously you can write down all the attributes. Here I have just specified two for the student name, its ID, and also you can write down the different operations performed by that class. So all this is about the example of the class diagram for the student information system. Thank you.